forano di cimiteri, le loro cattedrali.
Benvenuto il dopo la tassa in ritardo durante la serata di gala. Dario Argento presenta un film di Lamberto Bava, Demone. Filippo, gli effetti del trucco in questo film sono tra i più efficaci e anche più disgustoso di tutti i tempi, no?
Disgustoso? Sì, ma un capolavoro di effetti speciali pratici. Le loro cattedrali. Fuck. Corey, it's been too long, man. This movie is the reason why we do this show. 1985's Demons. As an 80s genre kid, this movie holds a special place in our hearts.
Speciale.
A speciale.
No?
Ooh, Alberto.
Like, this was not a birthday party crowd pleaser.
I don't feel good.
Oh, no. This did not show up till I was in my 20s.
I remember one of the first horror films that I saw at a birthday party was Nightmare on Elm Street 2, and it really disturbed me. Then I went to Owen March's house for a birthday party, and he rented this infamous movie, which was, quite frankly, a rite of passage for most children, just to wander down the horror aisles to pick up this VHS. Owen had it rented, and we watched it, and it literally fucked me up.
I honestly didn't see it when I was that young. We were watching April Fool's Day at parties. I'd certainly seen Nightmare on Elm Street 2 when it first came out, but I was always afraid of the cover that they had.
That's what I'm saying. This cover is absolutely terrifying. So when I saw this for the first time, when I sat down in a room full of boys and girls at the party and I'm trying to look cool and brave, I'm dying on the inside. But when it started and I watched it, I might as well put on that fucking mask because it actually transformed me. It turned me into something that I wasn't ready for. And that was a full-blown horror splatter freak.
Mega Hit Video has its own version, which is a very astute rendering of the United Kingdom clamshell, but on the back, the Mega Hit Video is actually plastered over, and they also removed all the goriest scenes.
When I'm alone, I myself, oh yeah.
But you have the gruesome cover. You have the cover that made you go, huh?
That was like someone grabbing you by the nuts and looking you in the eye.
My heart beats fast when we talk about that cover, actually. I don't know how you exist in a store with that cover in it.
Well, Corey, that's the thing. I'm not only living in the store with the VHS, I'm living in the store with the mask. So any survivors out there that are actually sticking around, Bienvenido, take the ticket. We're going into Demons.
You don't think it's gonna be a horror movie, do you?
Philip, tonight we are celebrating Italy. What are you drinking tonight?
Is it smorgasbord or smorgas?
I say smorgasbord.
I've got a smorgasbord. I've got the Folinari in 1986, a beautiful year, and I'm also, occasionally I'm going to break out a little tiny Mickey of Di Sonoro.
That's good, you sound like Mario. It's me, Corey. I'm drinking Alex, a grappa blanca. Oh, molto bene, no? Mm.
You're going to vomit tonight, I can tell.
Oh, it's going to be a bad night.
A horror movie. I knew it.
What are we bringing to the table? We're dancing around it. We talked about it in Italian.
I almost wanted to make this a survival snack pack, but the idea of putting anything physical in my mouth while watching this film, there are no words to describe it in the English language.
The only thing I can compare it to is the time I ate a giant homemade spaghetti dinner.
Thank goodness for Chef Boyardee.
And then I watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, and he kicks the wall.
Oh my god, if this was a survival snack pack, I don't know what I'd have. Maybe some leftover cottage cheese and ketchup. Salad.
So gross! This movie is brilliantly gross, though. Oh.
I'm gonna throw up.
This is a movie that is not afraid to have a long pause on something very gross.
And that's the thing. It's very, very excessive. It would be difficult to talk about this film without bringing up Giallo.
Giallo, molto bene.
What do you know about Giallo?
I would say, Jesus Christ, my balloons keep deflating. and one just slipped out and hit me in the head, and I fucking frightened me. We're talking about Giallo, and I just felt something attack me from behind.
Was it a Giallo balloon?
It's a Giallo balloon. Molto bene. Oh, excuse.
For those of you out there that have no idea what Giallo or Gialli is, I mean, this stuff goes back a long way. It has roots to a lot of men's pulp magazines and books. And it really came about when Mussolini banned a lot of American literature.
Those particular books came on what color paper?
Yellow, meaning Giallo.
Giallo. Actually, that's a great translation of yellow. You.
Thank you very much.
Giallo.
These books had like common tropes, really psychosexual, fetishistic violence, like women in black fishnet stockings, knives,
Shadowy killer.
black leather gloves. There was a certain type of killer in this, and usually they were a little bit misogynist.
Perhaps a little bit misogynist. But yeah, like grisly death sequences.
Yeah, so when we talk about Italian cinema and going back to Giallo, I think of names like Lucio Fulci, Dario Argento,
Umberto Lenzi.
Cosi, Diodato, D'Amato.
Hey, you don't forget the Godfather, Mario Bava.
Ah, Mario Bava, scusi.
No.
Se continua a giocare.
È una ruota?
Barbaggiani!
Speaking of Mario Bava and Giallo, bit of a red herring because Demons is really not a Giallo film, even though it has close ties to it and the genre.
Well, absolutely. But you gotta admit that the movie within the movie is pretty Giallo.
I fully agree with you, but actually I think it takes a cue more from American splatter films, and two in particular, The Evil Dead, as well as the influence of Dario Argento and his collaboration with George A. Romero in Dawn of the Dead, or also known as Zombie.
What you're saying is American slasher zombie movies kind of moved Giallo into a horror direction. You are such a Professor Bernard.
Well, all I'm saying is that American slasher films derived from Giallo, but the actual splatter films, which Demons represents, comes from American cinema. So it's that whole chicken or the egg situation.
Well, would you say these are shadowy killers?
There's no shadowy killers. There's tons of red herrings. There's really dramatic music with memorable scores. But other than that, the film set out to be the first Italian splatter film. And might I add, it was the first Italian film filmed in Dolby Stereo.
She means Dolby, alright? She means Dolby. You know perfectly well what she means.
To me, it sounds like everybody's speaking like an earthy tone.
One odd thing about this film is, when you watch it, it's like, are they speaking English? Or is this dubbed from Italian? Or are they actually Germans?
Where's the projection booth?
Upstairs, next to the gallery.
Yeah, you know what I feel like when they're filming it? They're actually loosely saying all the dialogue, but they're moving their lips in random ways at specific times.
It's not like when we were phonetically learning Italian here at this intro. So basically this film starts off, you got Jerry handing out tickets in a subway. He's selecting people. I wonder how he chooses. Does he care at all, or are these actually damaged souls that he's tracking down?
I think some damaged souls, maybe all. We don't get to know a lot of people in the theater, right? There's a lot more people than those we get to know.
Who are they though? Those extra people though, even when there is a spoiler alert transformation into demons, there still seems to be only like 15 demons going around.
But demons may be consuming some people. Maybe everybody, yeah, if you get attacked bad enough, you don't make the shift.
Okay, so it's like a zombie bite. If you're bitten, you transform, but if they eviscerate you and tear you to pieces, there's no coming back. All right.
Yeah, that doesn't even make sense to me though now. One climbs out of someone's back, right?
There's a lot of inconsistency.
What about the movie?
I don't know how to explain it.
Golden tickets given out. Metropole. Whole bunch of people go, and they sit down, and they start watching a movie. A well-made, scary movie. It is a Giallo movie in that movie, so in that way, it's kind of ingenious. 10 seconds. What happens in the movie within the movie?
Well, it's just like your typical horror film. There's a bunch of teenagers going out, they're looking for fun, they're drunk, they want to look for a place to party, and then all of a sudden they find something, and it turns out to be Nostradamus' tomb. Jerry, within this film, finds this mask that we have here, and he puts it on in the movie, and all hell breaks loose.
Whoever wears it becomes a demon.
Alright, so Rosemary, she tries on the mask, she gets a little nick, she becomes a demon. That's when all shit breaks loose, really, in the theater. The effects in this, at this point, you're starting to go, okay. The scratch on the neck, the other hooker, I don't know, is she a hooker or just a friend of a pimp, or I'm racially profiling characters, but whatever that relationship is.
No, they're two hoes, man. They're two hoes.
Oh, they're two hoes. So she runs around, then she gets caught in the red drapes, and then she ends up behind the screen, which is awesome.
Says a lot about Tony, though, hey? That seemed like a moderately nice night. You could see that there's like a 3/4 moon in the sky. I mean, this guy, he could have their asses out there pedaling on the street, but he's like, no, bitches, we're gonna go watch a movie. You've earned it.
Thanks a lot, Tony.
I hadn't thought about that.
Don't you disappear too.
Then you have your standard, I was going to say all-American teens, but no, they're kind of very Italian manly stereotypes.
If you get scared, you can always hold my hand. I won't mind.
Another couple that I find very interesting is Werner and Liz.
What is that dynamic?
Is she a trophy wife for him? Like, was he like some sort of like university scholar and he actually bagged her? And she loved him for his mind at first, but then she realized he didn't have much to offer in the dick department.
Wet nurse.
It's wet.
From the other side of Germany.
Liz.
Yes, Werner.
I love that she sneaks off to make out, though.
She doesn't just sneak off to make out.
There might be a... We're not going to talk about finger banging, are we?
I think she found this random dude, and she's been so desperate for some sort of man's attention. So in this pervy sort of theater, she finds whoever pays attention to her and can give her what Werner can't. And yeah, he's just frigging her. He's going wild.
Describe to everybody what happens to them as they're making out. How do they get killed?
Well, very undemons-like.
It's autoerotic asphyxiation by a demon.
He's ready to blast one, right? And then all of a sudden, Rosemary comes out, and instead of scratching their faces or scratching them both, she takes theater curtains and wraps them around their necks and chokes them until their faces smush together. So, that's them. What happens to Werner? I'm more curious, did that guy get the blow slug? Or did he die blue-balled? Because he gets thrown over the balcony later on, and that poor bastard is still alive. And you can still see the look on his face. He looks like he's like mid-cum.
Alright, so Werner gets his eyes pulled out. There's a lot of death going on.
But Werner's there as somewhat of an inside joke to the directors, but also he's there as a serious exposition dump.
Don't touch it.
Touch what?
This.
Absolutely.
Werner knows a lot about demons, which is something that's kind of like reminiscent of like Greek tragedies.
Being trapped in a theater with Liz and Werner, I would be so pissed off because
You next.
And now, it's one of the girls.
she has to describe what's happening. Liz, what's happening? Are they scared? Oh, yes, of course they're scared. Like, I would be sitting behind them like, oh, shut the fuck up.
I know, I'd be like, what the hell is wrong with this bitch whatsoever? She took this blind guy at the end. But then at the same time, I'd be like, well, he's a person too, and she's like his human closed captioning.
I know, but it's very obtrusive to everybody else is all I'm saying. And we only see a little bit of that. That's going on the entire time. Like, the whole time he's like, are they walking somewhere? She's like, yes, they're walking. Is someone drinking something? Liz, did you get me a Diet Coke? Liz.
So when Werner gets his eyes gouged out for 23 seconds by Rosemary, which is almost, it's so gross that it's actually funny, he still doesn't turn into a demon. He's wandering around the theater with no eyes, but he still can't see shit, so not much has changed.
Because of that scratch, she became a demon. An instrument of evil.
Tony the Pimp comes to the conclusion that it's the movie.
Believe me, we gotta stop the movie! Smash everything! Smash everything!
I love that scene where he...
But I don't think that it was the movie.
You're right, it wasn't the movie. I guess it was the mask.
I don't even know if it was the mask or if it was actually the theater playing tricks on it, as if the theater was actually haunted.
Oh, so you think the building, the Metropole, draws people in, and this is perpetuating the zombie myth.
Okay, so let's explore even crazier now. The introduction of characters that have nothing to do with the film. And not only are they introduced at a very awkward point, their story gets cut. It's like very, very bad editing. And that's the punks, the cokehead punks in the car.
But I think they have to get in for a very specific reason. But I think they are certainly shoehorned in there.
Well, the first time I saw them, I'm like, okay, so that's more demon fodder.
We need more demon fodder, though?
I don't think so, because the theater was filled with a shitload. Then I started to think, hold on a sec now. Is this some sort of like weird calculated risk by the Metropole saying, I want more, we want more souls trapped inside this film, so we're going to allow the doors to open. But that's a big risk, because some people could escape now.
I think ultimately, no. They need to get in. So by getting in, something has a way out.
Okay, they find themselves in the theater. You think that they're going to be very integral to the film, but they go in there and within a matter of, I'd say maybe a minute and 27 seconds, they're all transformed into demons.
See you guys now.
Demons feels like you're watching a gangbang movie. It's like, here comes the next guy. And you're like, pretty soon you only cared about the first 3 guys that were having sex, but by the 17th dude, you're like, he's gonna have sex with her, I suppose.
So you're saying Demons is the 17th?
He's the 17th in line for a gangbang that no one wanted.
Are you telling me this was going on in other versions through time since someone was cursed by Nostradamus? Like, was there a stage production of this?
There was actually a stage show. There was actually a puppet show with Punch and Judy. But they always managed to contain it.
So you're telling me at one time there was a Punch and Judy show where Punch and Judy showed up as pussy demons?
Pussy demons. But somehow the Catholic Church was a lot more powerful in the Crusades and the Rosicrucians. They kept it down and they buried it. No one knows about this.
There's chaos ensuing. Everybody is turning into a demon. We need to just move along. Everyone's getting dispatched. There's lots of death. There's a motorbike and there's a samurai sword.
A dirt bike and a samurai sword.
Yeah, well,
what 14-year-old son in the production was like, this movie has to have that?
It needs a dirt bike.
Needs a dirt bike. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, what's all American? Oh, BMX? Not gonna be so good in a theater. We need to have a dirt bike.
And a samurai sword, which is a lethal weapon.
Yeah, but why would a samurai sword? I guess it couldn't use a chainsaw because that's too much back to the roots of Evil Dead. You know, it's Tobe Hooper and it's Sam Raimi.
And maybe stuff is getting pulled in from different genres. Like, at one point, so we know that The Mask is Punch and Judy.
Feudal Japan, they had their own outbreaks of demons.
Like in Kabuki Theater, was it that pulled it in at some point?
We gotta stop smoking, man, because we're going into a new level. I feel that we may get sucked into this film.
What are you waiting for? Stop the movie!
Okay, yeah, everyone's scratched except for our 2 heroes. I think that if they had their time back, they would have made Tony the Pimp be the last one, but, you know, they fucked up.
How the hell do you know she's really dead and ain't been transformed into a demon?
Yeah, poor decision, but anyway.
Now the theater still has 2 live beings inside, and there's no way to get out, because there's no way the Metropole's letting them go.
How are they getting out of that? There's no way out. Plot-wise, I'm killing myself thinking of it.
Deus Ex Machina.
We sounded like the Vienna Boys Choir there.
Oh god, I love when Deus Ex Machina shows up in a film.
Something has to happen to move the plot forward. It needs to be almost divine in some way.
It could be anything, but it is usually pretty lazy and pretty contrived. That's all I'm going to say. And there's nothing more contrived, I suppose, and unpredictable than a helicopter crashing into the metropole with grappling hooks. But who's waiting up top for them?
Oh my god, dude from the beginning with the half mask.
They really defeat him rather easily. It was kind of like a Nintendo game that just gave up. Fine, you did it. You got us. They just stick a, like, what was it?
Piece of rebar.
A piece of rebar down through his eyes and his face. And yeah, he's dead. Now you'd think the next logical step is that they burn down the metropole, and the metropole, like poltergeist, like the home, sucks into the ground. But no, it's much bigger than that now, because the gates have opened and the world is now infected by demons.
Lamberto Bava did an amazing job directing this movie. I mean, this movie is brilliantly stitched together.
Look, there's no doubt in my mind that Mario Bava cast an extraordinarily large shadow over his son Lamberto Bava. And while it can be argued that Bava's work in Giallo was more style over substance, I kind of argue that it's just the opposite with his son. There's an awful lot of substance.
It has got a slimy substance.
But that's not to say it doesn't have its own style of its own. It just seems to have a lot of 80s sensibilities, really catering to the old Fangoria and 80s heavy metal vibe at the time.
He's not the only creative genius behind this movie. Everything about this movie works together.
It takes a village to raise this child. You have Dario Argento, who's actually producing it and co-writing it. And this film was actually co-written by Michael Suabi, who actually starred in Demons as well. He's actually Jerry, the mask-based demon in this film. So lots of fun little trivia. It's kind of like a really kind of family business.
There's connections, but they're familiar.
And of course, what would Demons be without the oozing creature effects created by Sergio Stivoletti? And while entirely not a household name in North America like Tom Savini, and this guy brings it to the table in spades. The man made me gag tonight. Finally, on the score of this film, in true Giallo vein, we have Claudio Simonetti from Goblin doing the music. Absolutely fantastic. Like, just not being able to talk to other people in my town of Wabash, Labrador, about Claudio Simonetti, I felt like a young boy who was just wanting to come out of the closet.
Nobody knows his secret.
It's like, come here, do you know about Claudio Simonetti and his scores with Goblin? And oh God, oh Jesus, oh God, this is amazing.
How did this movie do? Was it even in theaters? Like, I know it had an Italian theatrical release. Did it come out the same time in America?
As you can see, my one sheet that I bought years ago is from Ontario, and it was the unrated version. It was all over the United States as well. But trying to find information about how much money this made, because this movie was made for under $2 million, but trying to find what it made is impossible.
It's proved incredibly difficult.
It makes me curious that there is no actual box office recording.
It's almost as though it never existed.
'Cause I've got a golden ticket.
There's a couple of times throughout this show, I think on more than one occasion in this show, that we've actually kind of overanalyzed Demons. But at the end, it's kind of like sausage making. You don't really want to know the old details of how it's done, but at the end, with all the accoutrement, it's delicious.
Stay inside, but time passes slowly. Say pop culture on film.
What are you doing?
I'm sitting on top of the motorbike, and I'm going to do something that maybe I shouldn't do.
You're not putting on the mask.
I'm putting on the mask.
No, if you put on that mask...
If I put on that mask...
Turning off this fucking camera.
Well, you can turn off that camera all you want. I'm going to put on the mask, turn it off. I'm going to crawl through your computer screen. Demons, 1986, Lamberto Bava.
Oh well, now we're fucked.
When this madness is finally over, I can serve the next person in line. Can't stop working, 'cause that leads to thinking I'ma catch this deadly disease. I got one friend who always reminds me that it's life after late fees.